Allahumma inni laka samtu wa bika. Assalamu alaikum, bro. How you doing? How's everything doing? Come on in. Come on in. How's everything, man?
Great.
How's everything? Come on in. You can drop your shoes off right here. You're right here. Just come on in. Quickly, your name. I know it's kind of weird that you're in my house, but I don't even know your name.
Raphael.
Right? Raphael, come on in. Raphael, this is Gene.
Assalamu alaikum, bro.
I brought you that.
Oh, thank you so much. I'll take that. You got some chips? Have a seat right here.
Bring something out.
Yeah, right. No, it's okay. Gene's just rude like that. He didn't bring me anything.
Like, I don't want to come empty-handed.
No, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool. It's all right. No, it's good, man. It's good. It's good. No, not even. It's all love, guys. It's all love. Raphael, nice seeing you, man. Yeah, I was telling my bro Gene over here that it's funny because you and Gene are like people that we've met. Like I've met Gene through the mosque. I haven't met him through anywhere else. I met you guys through the mosque. Okay, someone else is here too. This is good. Oh, okay. Tell me that's Isaac. Tell me that's Isaac. I'm like so excited. What's up, man, Isaac? What's up, man, Isaac? What's up, brother? What's up, man? Assalamu alaikum. How you doing, man? How's everything? Come on in. Good. This is my daughter who locked us both out. It's gorgeous, man. God bless. Yeah, man, she locked us out, though. Let's go with that. Sorry, she locked us out.
Hey, what are you doing out there?
Come on, hi babe. Let's go. Hey, come on in, man. Come on in. We got a full house. Just put your shoes right here. Got everyone. This is it. This is the whole crew. This is it. It's a small team, but you know what? We make the most of it. Let's see if I can get everyone in the shot. Right here. Pop this over a little more. Huh? No, it's good. No, you all are going to be in the shot. You all going to be in the shot, inshaAllah. We're going to go live in a bit too. What's up, man? This is Isaac. This is Gene. This is Raphael.
God bless your home, man.
Man, thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming. Like, it means a lot to me. That's cool over here. It means a lot, man. I was telling Raphael over here that, I met you two through the mosque. Like, Gene just accepted Islam when?
Last Saturday.
Last Saturday. What about you?
It's almost a month.
Almost a month. What about you? May 5th. See, so all you guys are like noobs, like it's crazy, and it's just I know you guys from the mosque. Raphael, we met through social media, so he knows me from there. So it's like the first time he's actually meeting me, which is weird. How is that, by the way? Do I look the same in my photos and videos that I do in real life?
You do, but you're more animated now.
I'm more animated now. I try to be, both ways all around. How's your trip over here?
It was good. You live right next to me.
Yeah?
It's like...
Alhamdulillah, that's good. That's good, man. That's good. Yeah, so, I was telling Gene, literally Gene just came in like 5 minutes before you guys.
Nice.
So we're all on time. I was telling Gene how, like, when you're a Muslim, man, like, it's kind of alienating a little bit. Because, like, even though your family might accept it, may or may not, the fact that no one else is with you fasting, no one's like hooking your food up.
Yes.
How's that experience like?
I can definitely talk about that. Like, it's been hard, man. It's been really hard. Like the first day I was at work and I almost fainted.
No way.
Yeah, man, because I dozed off. I was like knocked out. My coworker was like, "Yo, you alright?"
Wow.
Thank God though. I had a brother. He's Muslim and I didn't even know.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And he helped you out?
Caucasian man. Why does he do
No way! That's awesome! That's awesome!
And it was
Let me
like,
see. Make sure I could zoom in or zoom out. Okay, I'm zoomed out. Okay, that's better. Sorry. I'm
it
just
was
sticking
like,
with this.
I noticed that you're almost dying. I'm dying too. Yeah. So I'm like, what's your reason for dying?
That's good. That's good. Is he also
he's
Reverts?
recovered, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. How long has he been a Muslim for?
Almost a year now.
No way.
Yeah.
I wish I knew, but you should invite him too.
Yeah, he lives in Jersey though.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I literally told my wife about this yesterday, and I'm surprised she didn't smack me. Like, because she's doing all the preparing, I'm just here eating and hosting you guys. She's gonna like take care of everything, So it's just like, man, I felt a certain way, but alhamdulillah, she did not like give me any problems. Like I thought she would have. I'll be honest with you, she had every right to if she did. Real talk, she'd be right to, bro.
Yeah.
She didn't. I'm like, alhamdulillah, that's good. She's chilling. She's all right. She's not upset. All right, we're good here. We're good money then. Yeah, man. But like, how's it been for you, Gene? Like, I know you were telling me about you said you live in a Catholic household. So how's that like?
They leave the house when I stop praying, which is better for me.
No way.
Yeah.
They like actually step out the house.
Yes.
Don't you have like your own room or something like that?
Yes.
But they still.
Yeah, because I don't know, because I can't speak Arabic and
Yeah.
around with Arabic.
Yeah.
I put this like the recitation
Mm-hmm.
on YouTube of them singing it, and I blast it. Don't blast it, but I put it
Loud enough for yourself.
Yeah.
Now, what is that exactly? I remember our first interaction. You felt like a certain negative type of way towards like other, like like Christians specifically, like that. Where does that come
Well,
from?
not really Christians, more Catholics.
Catholics.
Why is that?
Yeah. Why is that?
Because they idolize things that are not from God, such as the saints.
Right.
They pray to a Catholic. What's he called? The guy with the red hat. I forget. Yeah, to a pope.
But check this out, right? It's so funny because obviously it's foreign, so it's not right. It's clearly not right. But the funniest thing is this, right? Even in Islam, there's people who've deviated from Islam and they introduce culture in there that they do the same thing. They pray to saints as well too. They do grave worships. I'm telling you, bro.
Islam?
In Islam, yeah. It's not a part of Islam.
Right.
But people do it. Like that's not a part of Christianity. Like praying to saints and having pictures and analyzing. It's not.
It's
Pure
not.
Christianity is not.
It's not.
But they bring in culture. And if you were to ask them, well, how does Jesus pray? They wouldn't even know. Because there's so much culture and years of culture involved that you're only a Catholic because of culture. Same thing goes for Jews. Like, they're only Jewish because of culture. Like, I'm born a Jew. Like, what do you mean? Like, that's your identity. You get what I'm saying? Like, being a Catholic is an identity. That's why when someone accepts Islam or changes that up, like yo, that's a big deal. It's not, like, people don't understand. It's a big deal. People feel like you betrayed them in a way. But it's not even that.
It's not even known because I explained my reasons why I did it, and it's because they only worship God.
Exactly. It's like the most logical thing, which is why I converted. Is that the rules and the principle they set make sense.
Exactly.
It makes
so much
perfect
sense.
Like,
Yeah.
logically speaking, this is the best way to worship God.
If there is a way to worship God, this should be the best way. Like, logically speaking.
Absolutely right.
Right? So that's like, not even from like a spiritual perspective or like a interfaith, like, you know what I mean? Just logically speaking,
Yes.
the Quran has it down. And you can't argue with logic. Like, that's my thing. I'm a very logical person.
Yeah.
So that's why I converted initially.
How'd you convert?
What? How or why?
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 I agree with the philosophy part.
Logic?
Yeah, I mean, I just graduated with a degree in philosophy and religion.
Oh,
Right.
So the logic part is nicely set.
Right, for sure.
pretty cool.
For sure.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
But man, fasting has been hard, man.
It has
I've
been.
been, I'm not even gonna lie, I broke it like twice because I couldn't. My job requires me to be sharp because I work I'm an investigator for the state of New York.
Okay.
So I'm constantly working with files and putting things together. So I'm like, I can't be dehydrated. And then water.
Water, that's a tough one. Huh? That's a tough one.
Water is a tough one.
Oh man, that's a big time tough one. People don't realize, like, when you tell like because I'm sure like a lot of people who are not Muslim, they've asked you about this, right?
True.
And the biggest question is, wait, not even water? Like that's right. Not even water? Like, yeah, guys, not even water. Like nothing at all. We're
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
But I did hear if you do give to charity, you're allowed to break the fast for the day.
Yeah, so the way that's an interesting thing too. That's actually a really interesting
Explain
concept.
that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, so the way it works is this. That's interesting. The way it works is this. So you're not permitted to fast unless you qualify for fasting, meaning you're in good health, you're in good sound health, and all that good stuff, right? Like that's what qualifies you to fast. But if you're not in good health, you're not required to fast. Now, what you do instead is, if you're not in good health, instead what you do is you pay and you feed a poor person, like the same that you would you just give them dinner basically. You pay that off, you give it forward, so to speak. Because if you're someone who can't fast because like your health, your age, whatever it might be. You pay that in. You don't have to raise your hand, bro. Like,
No, honestly, I do have. I don't want to get out of the whole fasting thing, but I do have certain health problems
such as
that
what?
require me to take medication.
Okay, and those are exceptions. Those are big exceptions. Those are exceptions, and those make sense. Those are the ones that make sense. Like, it makes sense for you not to do that. Someone hit me up via, today on my Instagram. Someone asked me, can they fast if they have to take an inhaler? Because, you know, it's basically a crushed pill. You know, like, you ask them, like, yeah, you can fast. We're talking about people who need to be on pills. There's some people who need to be on pills. And that's a tough thing to do. You get me? So, in cases where it's medicinal health issues and you can't fast, you pay it off. There's a specific word that you pay it off and you feed the poor. Or if you could fast later on, you make up those fasts.
You make up.
You make up
Because I
fasts.
was
Right.
telling them I just graduated from my degree in religion and philosophy.
Oh, okay.
And one of the things they're saying is like you know, like an inhaler, they would say technically would break the fast, but if you need to take an inhaler,
Yeah.
the fast is an obligation upon you.
Yeah. Yeah. If
So
the
it's like,
inhaler
If
is
you
a
need it
must.
for a must, then it's not an obligation.
You know, one of the biggest mistakes I see people do, they like dive straight in. And I don't blame people. Like, I understand, like, Arabic, I want to learn Arabic. It's so funny because when Islam was spreading and the messenger, peace be upon him, was sending companions to different places, they asked the same question, like, what should they learn? You know, people like think that, and this is a common misconception that people think that like Islam is for Arabs or you got to become an Arab after you become Muslim. Like, no. I was speaking to this guy named Yusha Evans, and you should look him up. You should YouTube him. He has an awesome story of how the Bible led me to the Quran. It's a very, very popular.
That's crazy because
YouTube.
it did.
Yeah, but like, look, there's an actual YouTube series. You should check it out. It's called "How the Bible Led Me to the Quran." Very popular. It got like millions of views. Very popular, right? I was hanging out with him, and he spoke that his biggest struggle in the beginning was losing his own identity. Like, he thought that he had to become a Pakistani. He had to become a Yemeni. You know, like, because you're so indulged in those areas that you feel like you gotta like become them. But he said that I was this white Southerner hick from South Carolina. Like, I still wanted to do that. We drive tractors. He said, I still wanted to do that. I love football. I still want to do that. And the problem is people lose their identity.
Yeah.
And you got to be who you are, but start integrating Islam into your life. Like, Islam is a state of mind. It's a way of life, how you carry yourself. And you still have to be a Dominican. Like, you still have to be Puerto Rican. You still got to be a Puerto Rican. But you guys still gotta be Boricuas, you gotta do that. You gotta be that. You just have to be yourself. But you incorporate Islam within your life.
Yes.
That's what it's all about. Like, getting Islam within your life and not thinking it's separate things. Like, it's not like I'm a Muslim when my homies are there or when I'm in the mosque, but outside I'm not. No, you're a Muslim all the time. You get me? And that's something super difficult. It's not easy because in the beginning you're still trying to figure it out. I gotta learn Arabic. That's not the first thing. That's actually not the first thing. So the messenger, he told them to learn the language. Next, he told them, well, what do you teach them? He said the first thing you teach them when someone accepts Islam is, who is Allah? Who is Allah? What does Allah want from you? Not Arabic. He said the first thing you teach them is, who is Allah? Then you teach them more information about, the heaven. You teach them more information about predestiny. You teach them more information about all these things. You teach them how to pray salah. These are priorities. Arabic is not the priority. Reading the Quran in English right now is good enough. Think about all the stuff that you're going through right now. Think about all the things that you're going through. Everything, right? No, dude, like, that's one extra thing to do, and you're going to get put off. You're going to get put off because guess what? In the beginning, you're going to get super hype and you might do it. You might do it, but it's not sustainable. You can't do it forever. It's going to be very, very tough. So you might start it for a week, but then you'll notice that it's less and less and less and less and less and less until it's gone. You got to make bite-sized goals, right? The fact that you guys are saying words like inshaAllah and mashallah, bro, that's it. Y'all got it, man. Y'all got it, man. Like, those are the things that are really important. Figuring it out later on, dude. I didn't learn how to read Arabic until like 3 years in. That's not the priority. The priority, and I was reading the Quran in English cover to cover multiple times. Like, throughout the 3 years, I was reading multiple times, and I still don't understand the language, but I try my best, you know.
Right.
And God is not looking at it's the progress, it's the process, it's the journey. That's what the reward is, right? Like, you don't just wake up looking like that with that body over there, like he's been working out. You know, this doesn't happen, and it'd be unrealistic for someone to just get a membership at Planet Fitness and think, why don't I look like him yet? Well, that's from years of health, fitness, training, discipline. Like, you can't expect to get here like overnight. It's a journey, and it's scary how people dive into it so fast. And they get put off. They're like, I can't do this. Like, they get negged out. Like, I can't do this. Like, well, like, how can I do that?
I remember that Suhaib, he was talking about how one of the worst types of misconceptions is being compulsive.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And that's like you're saying, like being compulsive, being like, all right, I have to do this, I have to be like this. Like, you don't want to do that. Right? It's your relationship with God.
Yeah.
And whatever that's like, that's different for everybody.
And
so,
I think it also makes sense why people want to jump into it.
no, I get it, dude. I get it. I get it, man. I get it. It's obsessive. Being obsessed, being compulsive. It's something that, you just found something that makes total sense. You want to do nothing more but dive in. I don't blame you. Like, come on. Like, I'd be excited too if that was the case. When I was excited. I still am, but I was excited. But what that caused me to do was alienate a lot of people. Basically, I spoke to my family in a way, before I was married, I spoke to my mom in a way that, like, you don't know what you're doing. Like, how you've been doing this for this long. I'm learning the pure Islam and you're doing culture. Like, I became this, like, lunatic. Like, I'm not that. Like, how can the message of God make you a hard person? It should soften you. You get me? Like, the message of God should make you exactly. How I look correcting people and all this when I just got corrected after 22 some years. How I look to change people, like, that's not cool. Like, that's not fair. And what kind of taste and impression of Islam am I giving them?
Right.
You get me? How am I making Islam look to them? I make it look like some religion that forces you to force compulsively. Yeah. And it's so funny because someone messaged me saying that how, they have a girlfriend and everything, and they're just like, I'm trying to become better and all that sort of stuff, and I'm trying to get them to do it too. And that's pushing them away from me and this and that, and how do I convince them? I'm like, bro, you're doing it wrong. Because, like, become a good person. They'll see that. Become a good person, they'll see it, and your actions will speak louder than your words. But what happens is you're on the spiritual high and you think that everyone has to be on it too. Like, no, that's you. That's your journey. Go by yourself. But we try to drag everyone in on the ride thinking, and then we're upset at them, like, oh, why aren't you as excited as I am? Because it's not my journey, it's your journey. Like,
I know what you mean, because, like, I have a fiance now, and during this whole conversion process, she's been very open and super supportive.
Supportive, yeah.
And it's such a lucky thing. Like, the day I texted her, okay, like, so I did the shahada.
Yeah.
She knew what it was. And I quiet. I get home. She made dinner. I come in. When I come in, she's like, "Assalamu alaikum, my brother." I said, but then, like, a few weeks later, she comes to me saying, like, "Oh, let me go with you to this. Well, let me check it out." And I'm not.
Yeah, of course they can. Of course they can.
And it's just this thing is like, if it means it to you, you just. Because I'm not trying to change anybody.
You can't.
I have to fix it myself. I'm just working on this thing.
That's you. You're working on yourself, man, and that's what it comes down to.
And I feel like the sincerity they show. Oh, check this out. What is it? Let me learn. She's at work the other day, and she works at this store that they kind of like a new agey type store, and like people say things, and she texted me saying like, "Hey, I just had to proudly defend Islam the other day because someone said something wrong." This is from her.
But that's the win. That's a win right there. The fact that someone can defend Islam and
not be Muslim, but on my behalf. Yeah,
that's it. To piggyback off him, brother, you remember my friends we went to the movies with?
Yeah.
Wanted to come to the mosque, man.
No way.
Yes, they were like, "Yo, we like your friends. They want to know."
Yeah,
that's how it starts.
Yo, so you know what's so funny? Like, people have this misconception. They think of it as a failure when you see that. Oh. Because, people ask me, again, I get these questions because people think about numbers, dude. Like, it's so crazy, my man. Like, honestly, like, I'm running the social media thing, right? And, and it's funny because none of you guys know about this. He does, because that's where he met me, right? I'm a full-time, like, dude, like, I'm on it all the time, and it's weird because you guys don't know about that, but he does, right? And I get these questions from people because they want to quantify success. They want to quantify what success is. And they're like, brother, how many people took the shahada? People, how many people have you converted? I'm like, 0. Like, why? That's not my job is to educate people. Whether you accept it, whether you do it, whether you follow it or not, I don't care.
It's not even the job of an imam, too.
Bro, nothing. Listen, let me tell you something, right? Like, who could be a better person at giving da'wah and a da'i than the messenger Muhammad? Peace and blessing be upon him, right? Who could be better than him? Right. If he couldn't convince people, you and I can. It's not that. What convinced people from him was his manners.
Right.
It was his man, how he was. Dude, so there's this lady, right? There was a lady who had like a lot of bags in her hand. And it's a hot day, obviously it's Mecca, it's Saudi Arabia, it's hot, boiling hot. And he sees her struggle, and he comes and grabs the bags from her hand. And she's like, wow, thank you so much. Where do you live? I'll walk you there, hold the bags. And what happens is, she says, did you hear about this guy named Muhammad? He doesn't know it's him. You know about this guy named Muhammad? He's just quietly listening. He's like, this guy is destroying the town of Mecca. He's separating the families. He's causing people so much harm. He's womanizing, where all the people want to just gravitate towards him. He's destroying families. He's making people leave their religion to follow his newfound faith and all that sort of stuff. He's a menace to society. That's who this person is. That's who he's describing to Muhammad. Why is something in his bags, right? And he's quietly going by and all this sort of stuff. She's just bashing him, right? Not knowing that it's him.
Yeah.
So she goes. At the end of it all, she was just like, "Oh, thank you. Get to that doorstep. Thank you. Thank you so much. What's your name?" And he's like, "I'm that man that you've been bashing." Yo, that was a slap in her face.
Mm-hmm.
She said that if you're that person I'm talking about, if they're accusing you and you're that guy, I bear witness that whatever you said is the truth. Whatever you're coming with is the truth. I don't need anything else. What did he explain to her who Allah is? Did he tell her about what the Quran is, the angels, the heaven? Nothing. It was his character. It was just who he is. It's his swagger. It's how he carried himself. When you carry yourself in a good way, people notice. People notice that there's something different about this guy. He's always clean. He's trying his best not to curse. I know it's a tough difficulty. Cursing is not easy. Cursing is tough, man. Cursing is tough. I don't blame you. It's tough. It's a lifestyle, But I want to ask you, what was the biggest adjustment for you guys in your short 1 month stint with Islam? What's been the biggest? We can just whip around here. You can start us off.
Oh man, it has to be alcohol.
Yeah,
it has to be the complete, just letting go of it. I mean. Just recently, I went to a staff meeting. We had an outing with my coworkers, and we went to a happy hour.
Sure.
Right, and I was fasting, so I couldn't eat till 8:13.
So you can't even have a wing, not even a flick of mozzarella stick. You can't. You can't even have that.
And
not even a wing. Yeah.
I'm the new employee, right? I'm like a month in, so this is the first time they see me in a social environment.
Sure,
they don't know me from a hole in the wall, so they're testing me. They want to see what I'm like outside of work, right? Sure. So I see everybody drinking and everybody having a good time, and I come to the waiter. I'm like, can you give me? I'm like, give me some water. I'm looking at the water. I'm waiting for 8 because it's like 7:30. So I'm like, we have the water right there.
Drip happening on the side.
I'm talking, and I see my supervisor looking at me, and I'm like, huh. And everybody, for a moment, I just feel the vibe. Everybody's looking at me because I'm the only one not drinking or eating, right? So then
they know.
Nobody knows.
Okay.
2 coworkers knows.
Gotcha,
That's it. So my supervisor comes around, and he's like, "Do you want to drink?" I'm like, no, I can't drink. I don't drink anymore. I let that go. I don't tell them I'm a Muslim.
Yeah, that's all right.
I'm like,
that's all right. For all they know, you could have been some dude in, AA, struggling. They're like, yo, don't drink around this guy. I say, you'll go crazy.
This is my first time being in an environment and controlling myself.
That's crazy.
And remember that talk we had when we first met?
Yeah.
About being the sober one there and realizing that you can't drink and just watching everybody else drink. I feel you, man. I know what you're coming from with that. And everybody was acting stupid, and I'm like over here, like, what am I doing here?
You're woke, bro. You're just watching these
I'm so bored.
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I see where you're coming from now. I see why you say that. Yeah. But I think that they know now.
They know.
Everybody knows.
That's
now,
good.
for sure, but I was proud of myself.
That's good, man.
I was definitely proud of
you,
myself
man.
because it wasn't something that I thought I was able to let go of, just because I'm temptation,
social,
my friends.
Yeah.
But nah, man, I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. I had a friend. I told you about my friend, my homie, and Dominican. Just same story. Dominican, half Puerto Rican. Actually, a little mix of Gene and Isaac right there. And with Raphael. I mean, and he had that same thing, but his problem was that he's just still in those social circles where he just couldn't give up that life. Now, here's the thing, one off that everything that happens, every so often that's going to happen, right? But this dude is putting himself in those situations where he's consistently going to those places. Like, you're going to a New Year's Eve party. Something's going to happen. You're going to a Christmas party. Something's going to happen. You're going to the Halloween parade. Something's going to happen. You got to understand that you got to put yourself in successful positions, and I get it. Look, That's a real thing. And then I was in those situations before, man. I remember I used to be the life of the party. I remember one of my one of my New Year's Eves, bro. I remember I walk in with a bottle of like rosé to my face. Just I had literally my theme for that was just like excellence. I just wanted to have a bottle of Moet, like rosé, Chandon in my hand. And I remember just doing that. And I remember doing it for the pictures and for the women and all that sort of stuff. And I remember that, man. I remember drinking so much that I was like out my car, like throwing up. Like I remember it so much, and I'm just like, wow. Like I remember always thinking to myself, what am I doing with myself? Like, you get me? Like I'm lucky enough to have some good friends around me who didn't do nothing crazy. But I've been through 14th Street, Union Square, people on the floor, and they're homies, people left. And I don't know if you guys seen that, right? I'm like, yo, where are your friends? You know, they're literally in the middle of the subway. There's like pass out. I'm like, come on, like where are your friends at? Like, you know, why did they leave you here? That's crazy. What would you say, Rafael, is the big struggle?
Well, I'm really working on the whole lowering the gaze.
Yeah.
Taking that very seriously. And so then it's the hardest now because it's hot.
Yeah. He's saying lowering gaze in case you didn't hear. Not something about gays like homosexuals. He said lowering your gaze in case Gene's like, what's he talking about, right? No, it's lowering the gaze, like not looking at women, which is like, whew. Which is so funny. Culturally, we're taught to like check out someone's backside. We're taught. Like it's something so instinctual where your neck swerves.
You don't even notice it. Half the time you don't even notice that you're...
It's such a natural movement. It's such a natural movement. You know? Like how's that going for you?
Much better.
Much better?
Yeah, catching it a lot. Like, nope,
it's about catching it.
Right.
Yeah. Here's what helped me.
And I always have like trying to always have a test beat on me, just like
good man. It's not about removing a habit. It's about replacing a habit. It's about replacing it. You know. And I remember what really woke me up from this was when I was just like chilling. I was listening to something, and I'm watching this dude in front of me on the train, like just waiting at the platform, and he basically looks at some woman passes by. He just looks at him and he just checks out the ass or whatever. And I'm just like, is that me? Is that what I do? Is that what I look like? Because I looked at him like he's such a creep, right? But I'm like, hey, I do that, right? I look like that.
But I agree. I see that too, and I'm like, I don't want to be that guy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm just like, I am that guy.
That's what you look like. Just someone else looking.
Right.
But I'm not. Look, I'm not gonna say like, you know, oh, women are like. I'm the controllable. I'm not in control of what they wear. I'm in control of what my eyes look at. You get what I'm saying? People fall in this trap. Well, they shouldn't be dressed like that. I agree. You shouldn't be looking. You know. When God said the first order God gave before He told women to dress more modestly, He told men to lower their gaze. Mm-hmm. It's the man's job to lower their gaze, and maybe if all of our gazes were lowered and we were looking, maybe they wouldn't have anyone to impress. Maybe they wouldn't be dressed that way. Maybe we're the reason they're dressing that way because they want us to check them out. But if we stop checking them out, maybe they'll develop more respect and dignity for themselves. That doesn't mean that if you're dressed that way, you have no dignity. What I'm saying is, huh?
It sounds like an Alawi female.
What?
Something like it's a subsect of shite.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they believe in
what? What are
I'm talking to a female. She's from Syria.
Oh yeah.
She believes in. She don't wear the hijab and all that other stuff. She doesn't.
You know, and it's funny because
she believes in the man should lower his gaze.
He should, absolutely. But it's not just that. It's not just lowering your gaze because look, if it's up to us, like let's keep it real. Let's just keep it 100 over here. Like we all have these habits that if it wasn't for Islam, if it wasn't for Allah, we'd want to do it. You get me?
Right.
Like for me, man. For me, it'd be like smoking weed. Like I love smoking weed. Like I know that sounds crazy, right? I know that sounds crazy, and I know like we're live stream right now. Like oh, you know, SQ's talking about smoking weed. No, it's like if it was up to me, I'd be smoking weed. I'd be twisting blunts. Like that's just who I am. Like I love that. I love that sort of not because like I love getting high. It's just like I love my thought process. I love everything about it. But what the reason I don't do it is because God said so not to do it, to not intoxicate yourself, you know? And it's not, and you know, when people want to justify, they'll give you the arguments, it's from the earth, it's from the ground, it's from this, and you know, why would God make it if He didn't want you to smoke it? Well, the reason He made it so you don't smoke it. Why did He create the pig? So you don't eat it. That's the reason He created the pig, because they gotta be a pig, and you're not supposed to eat it. That's the idea behind it. It's a multiple choice test, right? And the thing is, you know, like, usually multiple choice questions, they're like, 3 wrong answers, 1 right answer. God gives you 3 right answers, 1 wrong answer. He's like, look, you can eat from this, but don't go there. That's what He did to Adam, right? He told Adam, everything is yours except that one, right? So, and think about how many trees must be in paradise. Think about it. Think about it. Like, think about how many trees you could have went to, explored, did everything there, all the way at the end of paradise. But something about the devil is that he entices what you can't do. It's something human nature, right? I want to go more towards that authority. You know, like I want to challenge authority.
That's what they call it, the forbidden fruit.
The forbidden fruit.
We want to go to that which we know we're
you
not
can't
allowed
do.
to.
Exactly.
And then you tell the kid no.
That's they want to go there, right? So
actually, there was a really interesting study about that.
Sure.
Where they were showing they put these children in a room with like toys and everything, and like all the chocolate and cookies. And the kids that had parents that weren't strict about like, you can't have sweets. You know, they went in, they maybe had a cookie or so, then they played.
Yeah.
But the parents are like, you can't have sweets. The minute the parents were there,
all the cookies. All the cookies. Yo.
So it's just this little battle.
You can't, because you know the funny thing is this, like in Islam took like it took 22 years, right? And the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, was giving dawah for about 22 years, right? He started from the age of 40, passed away at the age of, 62 or so, you know. It was like years. It took 14 years for the Quran to be revealed, you know. It was a process. It was a process of the entire thing, right? And it's just so funny because, like, the first 10 years in Mecca, it wasn't like fast, it wasn't pray, it was develop a link with God. It was understanding who God is. It was all these things about who God is and what your relationship with God is like. That's what the focus of Islam was. Right. That's it. That's what the focus of Islam was. And that's what it is. But you know, today people dive into the things like I want to learn Arabic, I want to do this, I want to do that, which is good. But like, you just gotta like learn the 99 names of God and like study them. Like who is God? He's the most forgiving. He's this. He's that. He's that. Like you're going to the roots. Yeah. You're going to the roots, and that's what my talks are on Saturdays. It's going to the roots, just the roots of who God is. Like, don't go into is that halal, is that haram? Why can't I do this? Why can't I do? Like, no. Don't worry about that. When you make your biggest focus pleasing God, everything makes sense to you. Like, again, we spoke about smoking weed. Like, you know, like, if it was up to me, I'd be doing it, but I don't do it because God said so. Right. That's the only reason. And guess what? For each sacrifice that we make, God rewards us. Right. God is rewarding us for the sacrifices.
Oh, so back to the weed, because I'm a very avid, like, supporter of weed.
Sure, so am I.
Medical, advancements.
Sure.
So, what do you think?
You know, it's so funny because the funny thing is this, right? Because there is something called medicinal marijuana, and there's like whole studies about this. This is not something that gets solved in my living room, you know, but 20 minutes before fast. Those issues are not going to get solved here, but it's important to start these conversations. I know someone who takes the THC oil extract because they are basically avoiding taking 17 different pills.
That's what I do.
You get what I'm saying? Right. But there's different ways to go about it, you know? And that's between you getting like the permission and like using it for medicinal purposes. Look, God knows if you are getting high to watch Family Guy and like, you know, listen to music. You get what I'm saying? God knows the difference over here. Let's just keep it real. I don't. God knows, right? But if you're doing it seriously because you have the oil and you're rubbing on specific areas and you're taking drops of it in your water or whatever, how else you take it, God knows that too. Okay. So you're not intoxicating yourself, you're taking medicine. There's people who are taking, you know, like, there's people who take, like, Percocet. They take it, you know, you're doing it. Right. But God knows when you're abusing it. God knows when you're taking it for chronic back pain or shoulder pain. Right. God knows the difference. I don't. You know, God knows for each his own.
You That's your relationship between you and him. Like at the end of the day, you know, when we walk out of that door, when we walk out of this door.
Yeah, that's between us. I don't know. You know, like God knows what you need it for. It's medicinal. It's medicinal, but there's people. But look, there's people who go and you see these things in Colorado where there's like, you know, this is bubblegum kush and blah 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 blah. This is for the anxiety. This is for this and this and that. Look, I'm saying like if you're trying your best to like trying to get off these things, and God knows that you can't, and you've tried your hardest, and you're doing this, but you're trying to lower your doses, you're trying to do all the things possible, you're not doing it to get high, you're doing it for survival. Look, man, even at a time of survival, you're allowed to eat pork if you're about to starve. Like, that's how Islam is. Like, if you had to Like if you're like, you get me? Like if you're dying of thirst and you had to take a sip of alcohol to survive, you're allowed to do that. Like it's a process. You get me? It's not like something that you can or can't do. It's this idea that look, if God knows, are you doing it for like recreation? You're just trying to chill. You just trying to watch the, like I said, Family Guy, and just get high, watch YouTube videos, and watch Key and Peele. Like God knows what you're doing with it. God knows I don't, you know. But God knows what it's for. If you're trying to just get the munchies and eat like a whole sleeve of Oreos, I don't know what you want to do. But God knows what you want to do, and that's between y'all, you know.
I think it's important to be honest with yourself when you're doing it too.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
It is. Why am I doing this? You know? God is the judge. I know people who get so serious, and this is where I was talking about. Like, you know, people take it so personal. When people are giving dawah, right, and they're like inviting people to Islam and all that good stuff, they take it so personal when someone doesn't follow them. Like, I just gave you a Quran, why aren't you reading it? But I gave you a pamphlet last week, bro. Like, have you read it yet? Have you read it yet? Like, you start, oh, I sent you this chapter of the Quran on YouTube. Why haven't you watched it? You know, it's a video, it's an audio. Like, you know, you take it so personal. It's not personal. It's guidance from God. You know, like, it's guidance from God. Like, that's what it comes down to. So, like, it's not a personal battle. It's not personal. Like, if you, like, you answer to God, not to me. And that's something that anyone who's doing this got to remember. That you're answering to God and not SQ, not, you know, Isaac, Raphael, Gene. We don't have the right to correct people, you know? Like, you can inform people. You get what I'm saying? Like, you can inform people. This is where people mess up. Like, people, like, you know, because part of Islam is advising people. Yes, you need to advise people, but advise with some wisdom. Advise like if I know someone, like if I met someone, but I don't have a good relationship with them, how my opening statement with them looks like. How's my opening statement with them correcting them? Like that's my opening interaction with you. Like I'm correcting you, assuming you're wrong, making an assumption that you don't know what you're doing. Like, why is that my first interaction with you guys? You know, and that's wrong. That shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't happen. And that's where wisdom comes in. You got to be a little more wise with how you give, you know, invite people to Islam. And that's just how it goes. So I don't know. You say, Lori Gates, what would you say is like one of your biggest challenges of like, you know, being a Muslim and like, yeah.
I've been studying Muslim for a couple years now. I didn't convert yet, but I've been studying.
Gotcha.
A little bit here and there.
Gotcha. And you just converted, decided to take the Shahada back in the thing, right?
Yes,
but I respect that. You know, a lot of people do your research.
I don't do a lot of that.
But if you're a Christian, you shouldn't be eating pork either.
Right.
It's one of those things. If you really study Christianity, you don't. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
I was raised Catholic. So I seen all the book, you know, so.
Yeah.
How was that? Like, how was like?
I was raised Christian, but
Christian.
I know.
What kind of like sect within Christianity?
Nah,
It was just Christianity.
It was just like
No
Not
domination.
nomination.
Okay, just like
That was Catholic,
I mean, like-
then became a non-denom, and then.
Gotcha.
My mother was my Catholic school teacher.
Oh, what? Wow. How did she feel when you accepted Islam?
She always trusted that I would do what's best for me.
Mm-hmm.
So she
never really like think
never,
about that.
right. Because also she saw like I've done, man, like ever since I was 19, like I've studied Buddhism, Hinduism.
She saw that you're on this journey.
I've so many things, and she saw it's kept going, so she just left me alone.
Wow.
She's like, I trust, you know.
God bless.
That's awesome, man.
But it is strange, like the Puerto Rican culture family, for anything like that to happen.
Yeah.
Like my father passed not too long ago. I'm sure he wouldn't know.
Unless you go to jail.
But my mother is
It's
like,
keeping it real.
you know.
Yeah. It's funny because like.
But you're right. Even in Christianity, they're just like even Christianity traditionally would have covering the hair for the women as well.
Yeah.
It's in the New Testament.
Yeah.
I mean, the nuns do it.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
but
I saw this video where like we don't give things, we don't give crap for the nuns when they cover their hair,
Yeah.
but when we say hijabis, all of a sudden we're like, oh,
Oppression.
No, but
Oppression or
it's
like,
actually one of the letters of Paul to the people. He said women must have their hair covered, and if they do not, they need to have their hair cut.
Wow.
It's actually in the-
That's why
it's
Jewish
in the New
women.
Testament.
That's why Jewish women actually cut their hair wear wigs.
Wear
Jewish
wigs.
women actually wear wigs.
They have to wear wigs.
Yeah, the hair that you see a Jewish woman out in the mountain.
He's alive.
Snatch that off,
They don't
bro.
have to. That's not the real hair.
That's not the real hair, bro.
Snatch it off.
Yeah, that's not the real hair. Sometimes they cut them off. Sometimes they just tie it up. Like
Right.
a doobie,
And then
they just put a wig over it.
It was actually cool.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I think it was a Baptist pastor. So let me see if I can find this video. But he was in his congregation. He was criticizing the super like people only focus on the Leviticus verse about like homosexuality. And he's like, you focus on that, but you forget the verses that talk about you can't have selfish. You can't be in the same room with your wife when she's on the period. You can't wear mixed linen. You can't wear gold. This is all in that same book.
Yeah.
You ignore all that. But you only focus on this one thing.
And you know what's so funny?
No pick and choosing.
Yeah, no. You know what's so funny? Because, you know, Islam came to eliminate those sort of, because God would never say that, to not be in the same room with your wife when she's on a period. Like, God would never say something like that. Whenever something sounds crazy, it's not from God. It's either you misunderstood it, or you just do, you like, there's something wrong.
Or created by men.
Huh? Or created by men. And you know, because there's some things like, you know, like you might hear in Islam, but it says in your book, and they might point out a verse to you and be like, there's no way that God would have said this, you know?
Right.
But it says it right there in your book. That means you need to understand the context of what it's saying in, you know? Basically, there's this very popular verse where, you know, a lot of people come out and there's like, you know, kill them where you find them. There's this very popular verse.
My father, man.
Yeah?
Oh my God. We got into the biggest argument because he pulled that verse out. He was like,
Oh,
but yeah,
In the
from the Quran. He was like, the
Kill
Quran
them.
states, kill the non-converters.
Yeah,
Kill
the
them.
ones who are
He
not
ignores
Muslims.
exactly.
The ones
Kill
who do not listen to Allah.
Yeah,
Kill
whoever
them.
basically comes in your way would kill
them.
the non-believers.
Kill the non-believers
Believers where you find them.
when you find them.
Chop
But
their
it
heads
also
off.
says that you are not the one who kills them. It's actually Allah who kills them.
Not only that, bro, but it was written in a context where it
Yeah,
was
they
the
were-
time of war.
They were in the
Yeah.
wartime.
Yeah,
Right,
exactly.
so
They were,
My dad, all of a sudden, he was like, I'm like, you sound so ignorant because you're choosing this, but
But you don't understand the history of
right,
it.
exactly. And I'm like, so when you
And also, it's right after that verse, it said if they're non-combative, you must stop fighting.
Exactly.
That's the next one.
That's Surah 8, I believe.
You know?
it's yeah.
You know what's so interesting? Because today you see that, like, you know, the Warriors are going to play tomorrow, the Rockets are going to play tomorrow. You're telling me they're not trying to hype these guys up?
Oh, yeah.
And they're telling you, look, make sure they feel you out there. You know, make sure they foul them. Make sure they feel your fouls and all that sort of stuff. You're not trying to end someone's career. You're not trying to hurt Kevin Durant. You just want them to make sure that you win. You know, these guys, right? These people stole their wealth. They took them out of their land. They oppressed them. They gave them all this scrutiny. All this stuff, right? No, the disbelievers of Quraysh, of Mecca, and they ran them out of their houses. When they came to Medina, they were still messing with them, and they waged war against them still. So now they're about to fight these people. The Muslims are 300. Literally, the real 300 story. They're 300, and these people, over 1,100 people, about to just attack them. Right? They're about to attack them. So that basically, that comes out to, for every 10 people of them, there's one, you know, one or so person from them. Like, it's a bad ratio. So basically, for every 100, for every 10, there's three. There's three of like us. Like, it's bad. Like the ratio. So, anyways, the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, the verses from God comes down because they're worried. They're worried. There's 300 people versus 1,100 people. You know, like, they're worried that how are we going to win this?
Right.
The odds are against us. You know, they believe, but they're like, yo, the odds are against us. So verses of Moses would come, what happened when he happened. Verses of, like, David would come when they had to go to war and all this. But then God revealed verses about when, you know, don't worry, I'm sending angels to be with you, and they're going to help assist you. So don't worry about it whatsoever. The angels are going to come assist you. Don't worry. So they feel the confidence, like, all right, the angels are on our side. We're going to be all right. We're good, buddy. You know, everything's going to be fine. Then to hype them up, he's just like, listen, when you see them in the field, don't take it easy on them. They're not your brothers. They're not your people. Because people are fighting who? Their uncles. Their cousins.
Right.
They're not your cousins. They're your enemy out there. They're literally like, think about this, right? Katie and James Harden were on the same team once upon a time. Mm-hmm. You know, yo, Kyle was good. No, bro. We'll get lunch after the series is over. You know, there's no lunch like, yo, I'm in Houston, come let me show you this barbecue spot. Like, no, we're enemies right now. We're competitors. Sorry, we're the competitors. It's all in the court. I don't know you. No pounds, no nothing. They don't even help each other get up. You let your family help you, right? They're about to fight their fathers, who's about to try to kill the messenger, kill them, enemies, pure enemies. They're like, listen.
Didn't Abraham fight his father?
Abraham, yeah, he had to battle his father because of, you know, his father was an idol worshiper. Abraham wanted to. Abraham, he didn't want that. But his dad had to do that. But there was no war happening. He basically just separated from his dad, like, because his dad wanted him, like, to kill him. His dad basically turned him into the king to boil him in the hot boiling oil in the fire. He wanted to throw him in the fire. His father tried to throw him in the fire. It's a crazy story, you know. But the thing is, God is telling you, listen, these people are your enemies out there. So when you go out and find them, kill them when you see them. Don't be like, I don't know if I should be afraid. They're like, don't be afraid. Go in there aggressive. Go, that's the mindset that you're in.
Right.
But if someone comes to you seeking like immunity, someone's coming to seek forgiveness and to say, help me, peace, take them in.
Yes.
Take them in. And do not enslave them, let them go. It's a whole process. There's a whole process. But people, once again, pick and choose. They don't understand the history. They don't understand the context. And you know what? The craziest thing is, like, you just accepted Islam. You guys are already, like, now you're defending Islam. Like, you just accepted Islam.
I've been defending
And you're defending Islam already.
I've been defending it for years.
Yeah, and you've been studying from it for years, too, which is, like, a really, really awesome thing, you know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just didn't think I'd be accepted. Until, I don't know why.
I don't blame you, because that's actually a very common misconception. But
It is a misconception.
but it's also true as
So
well,
you know
too.
what? I manned up and I read the Quran. I decided to do it, and I went and did it.
That's what's up.
With open arms. You
Yeah.
know?
How's it been for you, Isaac, for like all the Muslims and like the Muslim brothers and all that? How's that been for you?
It's been great, man. I feel like a family.
Yeah.
I feel like
even though he don't text us back, I just want that. I want that for the record on the cameras. He doesn't hit back us up.
Not like that.
He hit me back after 5 business days, bro.
But I'm here.
5 business days.
But
I
I'm
would have
here,
canceled my order. Amazon Prime. I had like 2.5 orders from Amazon Prime in that time.
But I'm here though. I'm here.
Nah, you here. How's that been for the brothers?
I feel like I've been misled.
How so, man?
I feel like I've been misled for a very long time. I feel like my parents, they did a great job raising me and teaching me about God the way they knew how.
Yeah.
Right? But now that I'm of age, that I know what I'm doing, and you know, I can educate myself, and I'm practically my own man. You know, it's on to me now to make those decisions. And I'm glad that my parents are supportive. I've been kind of on my own through this transition. I still think, like, most of the time, I know I have you guys.
Yeah, but still, you're by yourself. I get it.
But you know, I honestly, this alone time has served for me to reevaluate myself and know who I am, because identity is something that I've struggled with for a long time. So I feel like
How so? Like, what do you mean?
Well,
you guys should see the bad father, his child.
from VR, we have this expectation to, like,
Become something.
right, and if you can't become something, then be part of it, right? So then if you can't become anything, then somebody else is gonna tell you what to become, or you're gonna join a group where you feel like you're part of that. Exactly.
That's where gangs come from. That's
exactly what the mentality is. So for a long time, man, I went through school and through middle school and through parties and through friends, trying to be somebody who my crowd wanted me to be. Things that I necessarily myself don't agree with, but I end up doing regardless, because that's my environment, right? So I always let my environment dictate what I want to do. So this alone time, this transition now, I have control over where I'm at, who I talk to, who I'm with, what I do, and what I say. And I feel like this has been a revelation. For real.
That's awesome.
For real.
Can I just add on to this, man? You know, the sense of belonging is something really important. It's what we all strive for, and there's been, you know, research done on the fact that the ego and all that good stuff about, like, you want to belong, you want to feel like you belong a part of family. That's why, you know, gangs and all these things are so successful, because they provide a brotherhood, which is they're missing. You know, they're missing that brotherhood. They're missing that sort of family community, and you got these boys who are willing to ride or die for you, kind of thing. You know, and they're there. You guys are all in the same hustle, same struggle, and everything like that. And when you don't feel like you fit in or belong, naturally you're gonna lean and gravitate towards those things that you do feel like you fit in or belong in. It's funny because I'm parking my car the other day, and it's like I've said this story so many times because it just shocked me. You know, we run these like Friday night halakas, remember, like where the brothers gather, the youth gather. We just try to like teach them about Islamic identity and just make them feel like a part of something, you know. So we got this youth. He used to come to us, but he stopped coming, you know. And, you know, whenever that happens, it's always scary because you're like, you know, damn, like, you know, where are they? Because if you're not coming here, you're up to no good. There's something up. Because there's no way you're a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid who stopped coming to the halakha all of a sudden. There's something up right now. Anyways, I'm turning the car, and him and his boy apparently are just coming by, and crossing the road. And he's not a Muslim. He's from the halaqah. He's a Muslim kid, but the other kid is not. And all of a sudden I see them crossing, and they both just throw up some Crip signs. They just throw up some Crip signs at me like this. Just throw up whatever the Crip signs are. Whatever the signs are. And I pull up immediately or lower my window, so they knew I'm trying to talk to them. And he sees me, and he gets super embarrassed immediately, because he knows who I am. Because I saw him grow up. Yeah. I'm like, yo, my man, what you doing throwing Crip signs at me? So, huh? What? He just punks out. What? Acting dumb. And what are you talking about? Crip signs? Who, me? Who threw me? I'm like, yeah, I saw you. You threw that. I was like, who threw that? Me? I threw that? Like, all that acting stupid. Right? And then one of his boys come up on a little bicycle, try to see if there's a problem. I'm like, yo, I know him. And he's like, no, I know him. And then I'm just like, what are you doing? To me? I didn't throw anything. And I'm seeing them, you're a part of that. But the reason is because when your family is against you, there's like, oh, what are you doing? Where are you going? This and that. When the Muslim community is just talking smack about you, like, yo, what is he wearing? Why is his hair cut like that? Like, all this sort of stuff, right? They're just like, yo, I don't belong here. They're my Muslim brothers and sisters, and I still don't belong with them. I need to find people who I do belong with. So who I do belong with, people who are in the same mindset as I am, right? Who like the same music as I do, same interests as I do, basketball, smoking, whatever it might be, and they end up gravitating towards them. That's a very natural thing people do. So, like, I my heart goes out to them. You get me? Like, my heart really goes out to these guys because I'm like, yo, subhanAllah, like, we are not making them feel like they belong. And when they don't, they'll find someone else who does. Right. And so the biggest things, not just about like Muslims, but non-Muslims as well, just making people feel like they belong. Right. And when they lose that sense of belonging, they go other places where they do. So reverts. The reason, like, people leave Islam too, the same way they're coming in, they're leaving too. That's the reality. The thing is that we gotta make people feel like they belong. And that's the reason I'm doing this. Like, I want to make y'all feel like your family. Like, like, even you hit me up, like, wait, to your crib, like, to your house, like, no, it's always an honor. You never really get invited to people's houses, and when you do, you feel a certain way, You feel, like, forget iftar, right? Forget this, but, like, when you get invited to someone's house or someone to, come upstairs, you're like, oh, come upstairs, like, what? You always meet me downstairs, People are always a little iffy to let you in that bubble of theirs, like, oh, come to my house, So whenever you come into someone's house, you feel a certain way, like, yo, that's love, like, like you're letting me into your family. So I'm like, no, come join me with my family, come eat with us, like, yo, it's totally good, come through with us. So, like, it's a sense of belonging where you're fasting long days, no one's there to help you out. Come over. I know it's not much, it's something, but inshallah, it builds that brotherhood, builds that bond, and it sparks something else. Maybe this inspires other people to host more revert dinners and things of that nature. Right? We do, but yeah, man, the food is about. Let me get the food out for us because we're gonna sit over here. Sorry for the floor. I never anticipated. This is actually the first time I've ever hosted an iftar. Period. And like, I'm just happy that I'm doing it with the reverts first before anyone else. But yeah, I'm super excited that you guys came.
Oh man, that's nice. So your parents sleep when you pray, man?
I don't have parents.
You have parents?
No.
Wait, what do you look for?
People.
Roommates, people.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Gotta start with the fruit, man. The thing is that if you eat too much fried and greasy food coming from a pro, it's just a bad idea. Yesterday we went. I had a talk at Hudson Valley in upstate New York, or Westchester-ish. Yeah. Man, we broke our fast at IHOP because it was like, bro, I had these slamming pancakes yesterday, bro. It was just good. It was a bad combination because I drank a bunch of coffee and pancakes. I was just burping and thought of me, bro. Burping. Whole time, gas.
That's nice.
Oh.
Breakfast fast and I love it.
Just call me over.
I haven't been to IHOP in years.
Really? History, what's up? Crying kids, that's my life, bro. That's what I live by now. Just children crying. That's how I do. Give it instructions that they get something from the right path. Not yet. So this is a question someone's asking. How do each of these revert brothers keep themselves recharged in the deen? It's very easy to lose focus. How would you guys respond to that?
Think about 8:15.
Yeah, man. Just looking forward to eat, you know. For me, honestly, since I'm new, I see it more like a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like I need to rewire myself to think differently. And that's a challenge. Man, if you can't challenge yourself, that's a problem.
I look at the fast as like, all right, poor people do this every day.
Right. Right.
And when I finally do get to eat, I feel very grateful inside.
Right, and we were talking about water and how we don't really even appreciate water. You know, like you learn to appreciate water.
Do you?
Right? And something we take so for granted.
Everything is ready.
Right? Like it's things that we take for granted so easily, we learn to appreciate so much more. You get me? It's kind of crazy. Let me show you.
It's cool.
Over here. I think so, man. I think it's really cool, actually.
The other day at the mosque, I didn't know, right? My second day, somebody handed me a bottle of water. I was taking a small sip. Everybody in the room started looking at me. I'm like,
They're like, oh, not yet, bro. You're breaking protocol.
Exactly.
They're like, not yet, man. Wait. It's like, wait a second.
I go about the whole room. I'm like, oh, what did I do?
Man? It's like, wait, damn, we're not yet.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
No, it's funny, man. It's funny. Don't worry about that. For the aesthetics, to make sure it's in the shot. I think it's good. Yeah, it's in the shot, right? There we go. Some water here.
Uh-oh. Water's out.
Water's out. It's happening. So, do you guys all have an app? Do you guys have your apps?
Yup.
You got an app?
I got an app.
You got an app? Do you have an app yet? Put them on. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Put them on. Teach them about the app, bro. Bro, yeah.
This app over here, Muslim Pro, it lets me.
Yes, that's it right there.
Yeah, that lets me records my fasting. It lets me know when to.
Oh, you're doing that too?
Yeah, it records it for me. And it has verses from
I think it's such a gift.
Yeah, I
think it's such a gift to be a part of this.
Yeah. I read the Quran. But when I'm teaching myself Arabic, I just put on the Quran and as it's singing it, I read it. In English.
It's time. Fuck that
That's
time,
really
yo.
smart.
I mean, it's a.
Fuck that time. All right.
Because you know you're not doing this fast alone anyway. So you're with like a billion people joining
Right.
you.
Billion people, you're right.
It just around the
You know what it is? Like you guys don't realize, and it's tough to make you guys understand this. It's this. Like if you guys are in a Muslim country, you see the entire country shutting down and fasting together.
Yeah.
That's huge. It's so much fun to see that.
But like even
that
if you know that
environment.
you're not doing this alone.
And you know what's so funny? Yeah, for sure. It's so funny. All the shops are closed during the day.
Yeah.
All the restaurants are closed during the day. Everything is closed during the day. It only opens. It's a party at night, man. Like people are up all the time for Fajr. People are having like eating, all this sort of stuff. And then the craziest part happens on the night of the moon sighting for Eid. People are crazy. Yeah. People are just like festivities.
Yeah. I'm actually planning my own pilgrimage. To the
You doing it?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Nice.
I'm not just going to Mecca. I'm going everywhere.
Nice.
Cairo, Lebanon. I'm going everywhere, bro.
Yeah, man. You got to go to these places. Got some sauces.
Give me a
I'm not
year.
ready to
You guys will never see me again. I'll be in Syria somewhere.
But you know, it's just like one thing that really scares me about this, and it's a real scare because I've been through this personal process myself where I start learning about like what Islam is, and I start thinking that everyone is wrong except me. Right? I swear, like, it's a real process, right?
You're right.
And I start believing that everyone's wrong except me, and I start falling towards extremism. I remember the same mosque that Yaga went to. We're going to go to that same mosque if you decide to pray with us during that time. Because I know Brooklyn's a far journey, so I understand.
Brooklyn?
That same... Yo, he traveled, bro. He traveled, man. That's love. That's
Where's
love.
Brooklyn?
Yeah.
By like Jamaica's Broadway Junction.
Oh, 244.
Yeah, the way down there.
Wow, man. Much love. Thank you. Yeah, babe. Yeah. Yo, so that same mosque, right? I'm like in this bubble of my own. So I'm in this, I don't know what you guys drink, so I just put Pepsis. Sure. I don't know if you guys do that. We drink seltzer water personally. We're always drinking seltzer water.
Can I have
and
seltzer
things like
water?
that. Yeah, man. It's for you. It's for you. And I remember that same mosque, right? One of my first interactions with that mosque was they had like this Muslim, legal fund come in, like lawyers, a bunch of Muslim lawyers, right? And they were teaching people how to like defend themselves and this and that. And I'm just like, I'm getting upset because they're having like that talk in the middle, like upstairs. You gotta know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, but they know. And I'm getting upset. And I'm just like, why aren't we teaching them to rely on Allah? Why are we talking about, the law and everything like that in the house of God? Why are we teaching that? And that's extremism, that's not understanding, that's a bunch of things happening, right? But I thought I was right and everyone was wrong. Like, look at you guys have no faith, ye have little faith, like this mad extreme, And it's so funny, that was my first interaction with that mosque, and today now, I'm one of the people who they asked to speak in that mosque. So time can change with the intention changing, everything changing.
Right.
It happens. Does anyone know what time it opens, the fast?
17.
So, see, you know it. You know it to the second, to the minute. To the minute. Let me get some more stuff.
It's getting longer.
It's getting longer.
By the end of Ramadan, it's going to be by 8:30.
Really?
Yeah. And the Fajr starts at like 3:45.
It's
getting going this way. It's going this way.
Yeah, so...
You could be imam one day.
Huh? Could I? Oh, man, thank you.
I see
Thank you.
it.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
I see
man.
it.
Seriously.
Thank you, man, so much. I appreciate that so much.
You're going to bring this Islam to a whole different level.
Yeah, man, child, that's the plan, man. That's the plan to do such a thing, okay?
Right.
Let's
And
see
to also bring it to like this modern generation, man.
Yeah, man.
Because people are changing a lot.
Well, what I think you do was really good is like you deal with those I don't know if you saw that YouTube series yet, where you ask you.
Right.
You deal with some real questions. It's like the real life things that are happening. Not just all the big scholarly things, but like what people are actually going through.
Right.
Yes, it's true. I've heard many stories. Many stories.
17.
Like people actually.
Whoever's
really
phone goes
right
off first wins.
So the phone goes off first.
Yeah, my wife's like, oh, it opens at 18. I'm like, 17, they said, so we follow whatever goes off. Whichever phone goes off first, we follow. We follow that
Oh,
phone.
the sun.
All right, go outside, check the sun out for us. I'll let you do that.
You want me to?
No.
Oh, wow.
That was nasty.
That was nasty. Oh, 4 for 3 again. No way is this happening.
Some fresh fruits, man. I think that's important. People don't know. You gotta have hydration, fruits, all that. Otherwise, too much grease, bro. Too much grease. Can't have too much grease.
Oh,
Yeah, the watermelon's fantastic. Man, this is so awesome, man. I'm so blessed and lucky that you guys actually came through. I appreciate y'all, man, so much. Seriously, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I was surprised. You want me to like, I'm a street guy, I don't really trust everybody. I feel you.
Oh, that's it, guys.
That's it.
This is it. This is it. It's time for us to open our fast. Okay, do you guys know the prayer? Is it time to make a prayer, supplicate, ask God for whatever that you would like, inshallah, and God will certainly, let me get it in front of you, God will certainly accept from us and reward us, and of course, actually go for it. So, here's the dua, here's the prayer that the messenger taught us to make. Let's say it together, inshallah, okay? I'm going to teach you guys. Allahumma inni laka samtu wa bika amantu wa alayka tawakkaltu wa ala. Okay, so definitely, obviously the fruits are the fruits. We definitely have the samosas right here. Take some plates. There you go. That's you. Yeah, thank you so much. There you go. Obviously, take some of these. Take some of the sauces to dip with as well. Please just fill up your plate. Fill up your plate, please. Fruits, fresh fruits. Make sure you take some of the sauces as well. This one over here is very good. It's like a chickpea. It's like a chickpea yogurt sort of dish. It's very, very delicious. Use it in the black dishes right here. pour some at your earliest convenience, but definitely have some. These are like delicious. Okay, try some when you can. There you go. Here you go, Isaac. Just dig in, man. Just start. Oh, here you go.
This is great, man.
Yeah, man. I'm happy that you guys are here. I'm truly like blessed and honored that you guys would actually come out, man. Like, it takes a lot.
Thank you.
Of course, man. Take some of these sauces. I don't know how you guys do with spice. I don't know how you are.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah?
That's spicy, isn't it?
No, it's not that spicy, honestly, because my wife doesn't make too much spicy. So definitely try some on the side.
Thank you.
Yeah, anything on the side? Yeah. On the side, yeah, just in case. Here you go, man. This on the side right here.
Appreciate it.
Of course, of course. The sauce over here too. This is like a little mayonnaise, nice sauce to put on the side. There you go. And now just dig in, man. Just dig in a little bit. We'll pray together, and then we'll have like our proper like dinner. Okay, this is just like a little appetizer. It's just for us to break our fast. Okay. You know you're being like mad posh because in real life we would never use plates. We just dig in. We just stand. We just. You know, that's how it really is. They know. They know the deal.
I know.
No one ever does that.
This is really good.
Yeah, man.
It really is.
Yeah, thanks for opening your house, man.
Mm.
I mean, like I said, you met them to allow me to come, and
No, man.
just from like Instagram is like, that's not really.
Hey, listen, man. As long as you don't murder us, we're okay. We're totally fine. We're good. I feel safe. But like, I feel like this is what needs to happen. I would like, I'd meet up with a random dude from Craigslist to buy a phone, but I wouldn't invite my bro to my house to. Come on.
You're right.
You know, come on. This
So
is
we don't. Our priorities and our perceptions are a little weird.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you go on a blind date with somebody.
On Tinder, we do
Right? You swipe right, they both swipe left or
It's
whatever.
like, but you don't know what they have. If you're not, it's like you don't bring someone for dinner. No,
Right.
it's a cultural thing.
It's more like a
It's
convenience thing. It's more convenience. Because people
It's
find
cool.
This culture dictates what's normal and what's not.
It's called a samosa.
Samosa.
Yeah, these are
Yeah.
oh good.
Classic.
Well, they're really good.
Yeah, make sure you try that. I just show you here too, so
What's that again?
it's a good one. It's called a chaat. It's basically chickpea and yogurt. It's really good. Man. You see, when you eat, you totally forget that for the whole day you've been fasting.
I know.
You know? You've been forgetting the whole thing. Because when you're rewarded, you forget about all the struggles that you put in.
But what I've been noticing with how I've been understanding the fast is like we can only eat because God allows us to eat. Every meal we get
that's a
only
good
that.
point. That's
So
a
like,
good
but
point.
here it's like we're consciously allowing us to take notice that we're gonna wait until there's time to eat,
That's such a good point.
and that's what been pushing through. Like, every meal I've ever had is because it was a gift.
It was a gift.
But here I'm
It's permission from God.
consciously
Yeah.
waiting till I get the permission again.
Yeah. It's like, that's
So
such
that's
a cool way
what's
to
been
think about
helping
it.
me like really.
That's such a cool way to think about it. I never thought of it like
Yeah,
that,
me neither.
man. Like, it's God's permission to eat. Like, God is giving you permission to eat. That's such a...
Right.
And the fact
Here's
that
like
you
you're
do
just
that...
consciously aware of it this time. I think that's what Ramadan helps. Now you're consciously aware of when you're allowed to eat and when you don't.
when you don't.
And how, when you do eat, like randomly thinking that you're just going, it's really God allowing you to eat the whole time.
The whole time, right? Because not everybody.
Now they
If
better
you're going
make
to
it for the next meal.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like it's amazing.
Something very similar in this.
So this has helped me. The fast so far.
It's called chaat. Basically has chickpea, onions, potato, yogurt.
Possibly?
Yeah,
Yeah, taste it.
hope you like it.
Yeah, it's delicious.
So I know you were saying in one of your videos so that like 7 or something Ramadans ago you came back. Isn't that what re-sparked it for you?
You know, that's actually an interesting question because I was in the
Because you were raised in...
Yeah, I was, but like I never really followed it because I just thought it was a bunch of hoo-ha superstition. You know, I thought it was just some superstition thing. So I never even did that. When I was looking for something, Islam is not the first place I turned. I turned towards every religion possible besides Islam.
Same.
And what's so funny is basically I was in the lowest place in my life because there was this girl who I was with, man, and it just broke off, and I just couldn't get myself together after that. It's like, you know, this feeling. Maybe you've experienced it, maybe you haven't, but this feeling of you finally feel like a whole, and then that hole gets taken away, and it reminds you how much it sucks to be a half. And you never realize how it felt to not be a whole anymore, you know? When that got taken away from me, man, I'm just like, who am I now? Like, what's my purpose anymore? Like, I thought she was my purpose. Being with her was like everything, my happiness, everything was her.